All right. So thank you all for. Hey, y'all like that song? Yeah. Thank you for that in there. That was another one of the children of Raven, the Property Sisters young lady who was here. So again, it's been a great day with all of you all. This is our final panel for the day. We'll do some questions and answers. I know you have questions from earlier, but I really want you to ask questions on this panel, and then you can give them to people from earlier. But I'm going to start off by allowing each person to introduce themselves. Each person here is deep in real estate, not to those people before them or not. But these are the people that primarily the ones that bought like this block, but we have one guest over here that bought another block, which is on, which she'll tell you. I won't even tell you where it is. So I'm going to have them all introduce themselves and give them full information about what it takes to buy back the block. We'll give quick number exchanges, and everybody back here exchange number, y'all can, as soon as y'all get done, we'll, Jermaine and Spear and Jermaine will give the same energy that we gave to everybody leading up to, the same energy for everybody as we're going to close out to make sure everybody gets what they came forward. So let's start from the left, and I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself because you do a better job as the updated version, and then I'm going to give our long knee-high, tree-high version. So let's go ahead and the cards backwards. It should be on.
Hello, everyone. I'm Takara, as stated. I'm a real estate investor, a long-time real estate investor. I started when I was about 21 years old, 47 now. I started off, like I said, when I was 21. We got me into real estate. I was a teen mom. I had my daughter when I was 14. I have 2 master's degrees that I don't use. Going to college is not college is not for everyone. However, you can discipline, carry that over into my real estate business investment. I got my hands, I take my hands into commercial real estate, I fix and flip, I have a rental portfolio, short-term, long-term housing, and that's it.
All right. All right. All right.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the impromptu add to this panel. My name is Jasmine Barrow, and I am a shareholder at the law firm called Beacon. I am a real estate expert and real estate investor. I learned that through being an attorney, it was my pathway to creation of generational wealth after working with my clients. So while I was making money, I probably wasn't creating, I really wasn't creating generational wealth. I can't say probably, right? I was working for clients who were creating generational wealth. I was doing deals that were upwards of $20 million, some of the highest real estate deals. And finally, a client sitting next on this side of me said, "Why aren't you in this?" And so in 2017, I bought my first commercial property and began investing in commercial real estate. And then really just continued down that pathway and continued also in the practice. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. How everyone doing? My name is Kamala J. I am the beauty of real estate. A lot of people say, "What do you get the beauty of real estate?" There's so much beauty into the real estate, and I'm also a hair designer, so I just kind of like the way those two things went together. I started out when I was 21 years old. I bought my first piece of real estate. It was a 2-family house. I still have that house, by the way. One of the things that I really and truly enjoy about real estate is to be able to make decisions. And the decisions that I make is when I want to flip a house, or if I want to keep a commercial, residential. What I like to do about it is I like to be able to obtain that rent every single month. And with that being said, I am Kamala J, the beauty of real estate, and I will continue to build blocks. I am located in 1480 St. Clair Avenue. My goal is to continue to build the blocks in the St. Clair Avenue area. I now have 2 city lots, and it has taken time to build that, but at this point in time, we are now looking to build from 145th to 149th in St. Clair. So our
Black Knights Real Estate. I'm a real estate investor. 32 years as of this year. I bought my first house when I was 19. I'm also a restaurateur. A lot of people mostly know me from that. Right now I have 7. I'll have 10 within the next 90 days. That's it.
Let it out. I got them. Some of y'all have been in some of the restaurants. I'm gonna tell them in a minute. All right. So really, the way I'm gonna position this is I want you to be forming questions that you have in the how to buy back the block. So be thinking of that because I'm asking one question, but I really want you all to pick their brain. Pick their what? Their brain. Because sometimes, you know, yeah, we can present what we have, right? But the other time is you got questions in your mind, and sometimes you're a little afraid to ask them. Sometimes you don't have access to the right people. All of these people are doing. You have an attorney in real estate. You have a master's degree, 2 master's degrees over there on my far right that has chosen entrepreneurship and real estate as a path to create wealth for her family. You have a person that was in the beauty industry pretty much all her life and was able to take that and buy a whole block. And then you have a real estate businessman from the community that's buying up the block and transforming also on 7, soon to be 10 restaurants. So I'd say that's a big deal. What'd you say? Yeah. So you've got to get some questions answered. Then normally you got to go to some major guru seminar and spend $10,000. And here's the opportunity for you to ask. And some of you be sitting there like, I wish I would have asked. So be thinking about that. The first thing I want to do is I want to give Akeem the opportunity to share with a little bit about what you shared online about Buckeye and the importance of why you chose to buy back the block and what you currently own on this block. Because I think it's important for you to share what you've done with down this block because it is amazing. And I'm in full support of it, and I'm proud of you for doing it, and I want to make sure the world knows who you are. So share with the philosophy of the block, how much you own of the block, and anything you want to share around this whole, because this will set the tone for the panel.
So for me, I'm gonna try to sum it up. For me, I've been blessed to been inspired and have knowledge of the ones that came before me at one point in time, the real Black Wall Street. We've all heard about it, but I don't know how much time we've spent really educating ourselves of that real story that really happened. You know, African Americans in this country own every business on 24 blocks. Every piece of real estate, every business on 24 blocks. For me, I had never seen that before. As a young man, when I first was introduced to that story, and I was blessed. I wasn't just getting my education from the elementary school. I had people in my life that was exposing me to knowledge about our people, about people of color in this country that they wasn't teaching at the school. I was also blessed to see a small form of that right here in Cleveland, Ohio. For those old enough to remember, I was a young man when my father used to take me on 105 between Euclid and Carnegie. It was a gentleman called Winston Willis. Yes. He owned every piece of real estate on 105 between Euclid and Carnegie. Every building. And 80% of the businesses, he owned them and ran them. And this was in the 70s and 80s. I actually started in the late 60s, 70s, and 80s. I actually have a picture of him at the Angie's location on 79th because it was an amazing and powerful story. And my father was, you know, he wasn't messing around himself, but Winston Willis was his inspiration. So that seed was planted in me very early. And traveling in the 80s as a young man and going to cities like Detroit and New York and DC, and then in the 90s going to Atlanta, I was able to see a little glimpse of that, how that can actually happen, because we've never seen that in Cleveland. We have the Little Italy's, we have Chinatowns. I'm like, why we don't have, you know, a Black Wall Street or African American town or Black town or whatever, where we actually own the real estate. And you know, that's something that we can have discussions about, why it hasn't happened again, why we don't do more about it. I have my opinions, I'm sure other people have their opinions, but for the last 10 years, that's been in the back of my mind to make a conscious effort or intentional effort to bring that to Cleveland. So I looked around Cleveland over the last 10 years of being in real estate and in the restaurant business, and I looked for an area that we can, because the reality of it is people that look like me that's really making moves around the city. It's just not me, I'm glad it's not. But we have some people of color that's really making moves, but we're spread out. We're not together. Everybody is in their little separate pockets. And I've always, everybody that knows me, I'm a team, network, community guy. I've never wanted to be the only one by myself. I always knew to get there, we need to kind of bring all the power to one room. So I started looking at areas on what would be a good area that we can kind of focus on that had a good foundation already, and it kept bringing me back to Buckeye. And I challenge anyone to look at any community on the east side of Cleveland and pick a street that has 2 major banks, a grocery store, a hardware store that's been open for 102 years, a locksmith. You have the buildings, you have the real estate, and those that don't know, Buckeye area has one of the highest densities of multifamily houses in Cleveland. You're 5 minutes from 2 suburbs, you have the major rapid station, you're less than 10 minutes from 2 major hospitals, you know, and now the opportunity corridor. Where else if not Buckeye? So I intentionally started my mission quietly, acquiring properties and telling the people in my network we need to focus on Buckeye. So as of now, I actually have 9 properties over here. I had the opportunity to buy 6 at one time, but I tell people I did not buy these properties where I can be the big guy on Buckeye or the man on Buckeye. I bought the properties to make sure they didn't fall in the wrong hands, period. So some of the properties that I actually own, I'm open to reselling those properties to the right people with the right plan. But it has to be the right plan. You have to have the capacity to do it. I was blessed in my network just with a couple of phone calls. I was able to recruit other people that bought other properties, like Jasmine. She purchased a plaza. Another gentleman purchased 2 properties. Another gentleman purchased 3 properties. So over here right now, outside of Burton-Bell Carr, which owns I think 13, just in my network, we have about 15, 16 of the properties. Yeah. So the plan is to build a street, an area, a community that reflects Ohio City, reflects Tremont, reflects Larchmere, Coventry. But not only is the businesses, premium businesses, but we actually own the real estate. And we can do that if we come together and do it together and, push upon that momentum. So with the help of the Rick, which I knew he would be one of the guys that can help in pushing, that idea forward, and having him over here at 11802 Buckeye, he's doing it. He's helping with, pushing that forward. So if anybody else want to be a part of it, please reach out to me or Rick and let us know how we can assist. But that was the plan. That's it. That's as simple as that. It seemed like a very simple plan that's only complicated by people. That's the only holdup. More people is willing to jump on board with the plan. And this is not just for social work. As much as I'm about some social work also, this is to build some real generational wealth. That's what this is about. This mission is to build generational wealth and to show us and show the world that we can do it with us. Just us. We don't need, other people. We can do it. So that's the mission.
All right, all right. Evidence. Pam Hagler, this is what made me just really think to go into this with you. This will set the tone for the questions. You have evidence that you can not only buy up a block, but you started 25 years ago with that building, that one building. I know it was over 25 years ago. You bought that one building and you restored it on 148th and St. Clair. And now you own you got the cafe, you got the barbershop, tenants, you have the new event centers, all of that on one block. You have windows open, no bars, so arm over there, okay. Inspect what you expect. Trouble verify. No shutters and no broken windows. Right? So tell us a little bit about what you've seen in the journey of buying back and owning a block, because you've been at it a long time.
All right, I want to start out by just saying that I went to beauty school straight out of high school. And I knew when I went to beauty school that I was going to own my own salon. So I started out owning Mirror. I know quite a few might heard of Mirror before school. So I started out in the beauty industry, and I purchased my first Black-owned franchise beauty salon. And as I was going through the journey and realizing what it took in order to be successful, how I had to come out of myself and become not just an entrepreneur, but a leader in a different capacity that, I had to train, I had to teach. So once I became that leader that I seen myself being when I first came out of high school, I decided to purchase the first building, which is 2 blocks down from where I actually started out with Mirror. And what I seen there was to open up a beauty school. But as I continued with my journey, things became a little bit complicated, as they always do, and I decided to become a licensed instructor on state board for more advanced classes. So as the journey moved on and moving forward, things have just been successful, which is staying with, I would say, the grind. Just being consistent. And then as the vision opened up even more, I said, wow, I have a lot that's right behind me. What am I going to do with it? Then as I looked further, it's like I have a lot to the right of me. And then I said, what am I going to do with the other buildings that's next door? So maybe one day we'll have an opportunity to, share some of the visions that I've had over the years. But I am looking now to own at least 14 parcels is right there in that area. And I am looking for people to come in to partner and bring things together, because it will be a new development. And I do have a vision for that development to be where families can bridge together. Parents that need loved ones to be right there with them, because all the things that we're going through right now. I just lost my dad a year and a half ago. So I was torn from living with him and living at home. So to be able to be right there with our parents and still have a separate entity where, everybody can still be there and share some of the things, but you still have your own individual life. That's one of the goals that I do have for the new development. I do have renderers from 145th to 149th. So I'm just saying all that to say that there is space and opportunity for each and every last one in this room. I started out with just having a vision to open up a beauty school. And that led to the next property and the next property and the next property. So I would like to close out with saying that together team do accomplish more, and that is what I'm about. I'm about generational wealth, I'm about community wealth, I'm about team, and just bringing everybody together so that we have unity and strive together.
All right, Jasmine, what I heard from you, that I want to make sure that they heard again, and then I have something for Carmen, I want to get questions coming out of the room, is I heard professional, lawyer, making money is a career, but not necessarily position that money to be able to create wealth. So someone in here that's making their money as a career professional that maybe need to pivot, may need to hear your story and your why as to why you did it and how's it going. How does it feel to now start making those moves?
So I'll say I was just sitting here thinking, the king you met on Buckeye. So it's really interesting,
Yeah.
right, that you invited me to invest on Buckeye. The thing that he said to me was like, it's weird to see this attorney down here on Buckeye dealing with his clients, and because my philosophy is to meet people where they are at. So you didn't have to come downtown or to Westlake or wherever it was to meet with me to my law office. I'm gonna come to. And so that was important in my career. They started working with me when I was just an associate. It's a joke, like, how many firms have you been in? Like, I'm a business, so, you know, I'm gonna grow and they're gonna grow with me. So it's about, for me, kind of partnerships. And so while I was on a trajectory, coming out of law school saying, I want to become a law firm partner. Only 1% of law firm partners are black. I'm sorry, 2% are black and 1% are black women. And so that was the goal. I needed to become a law firm partner. So within 6 years, I became a law firm partner. And it felt really good, but I was sitting in rooms and talking with white men who were sitting on boards and who had equity in their clients' businesses, and they're making all of this money outside of the salary that we're making at the law firm, right? And so what I think the salary is, what I think the goal is, and what they told me that the goal is, there's so much more to it. And so when I had the opportunity to invest with my clients, or it was just put out there to me like, this is another way to make money, it made much more sense of why they were really wealthy, why they had boats, and why they had secondary houses, and I couldn't really see it. I was 6 years in, I'm a partner now, a lot of them have a boat and a house, so second house, so third house. And because it is that the career was the tool to make the wealth, it wasn't how I was gonna become one. So, I say that to everyone in the room, that let it be a tool for you, don't get stuck in it, saying that that is the way that you will always become wealthy, think outside of the box. Because as a little girl, it was, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna make great money, and I had to kind of switch my thinking and let that become a little tool for me to make money. Love what I do, and will always love what I do, but it doesn't mean that it was gonna create wealth for me and my family.
And then the same question, but from an education perspective, because a lot of times, you have a lot of people that are pushing their children to go to school, get the education, get the higher education, get the bachelor, master, doctorate, and you're saying, look, I got not one, but 2 master's degrees, but my hustle is where I'm creating my wealth for myself and my family, and those degrees are sitting on the shelf, though they are added value, but they weren't the end game. So I want you to talk about going from academia to real estate hustle, and what it feels like, and what they should know about that path.
Well, on my journey, I had a lot of ups and downs. I've been bankrupt in real estate, and I've been a millionaire in real estate. I would just say that to stay consistent on your journey, build your network. That's very important, building relationships, that's what stated prior to build your network, and integrity.
Short and sweet. That's good, that's good. All right, so look, what we're gonna do is, I wanna go ahead and get some questions going, because that's why I mainly want, I'm gonna borrow one mic, and I want to see who's bold enough to ask the first question. I got a special gift on y'all make it easier than, I don't have to bribe somebody.
Good afternoon, my name.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Oh, go hit it again.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
My name is Delano Benjamin, owner operator of TerraTouch Lawn Spa Landscaping Company. I like to label myself a lawnpreneur. By the way, my first question is, how do I, or what's the first steps into attempting to acquire my first property with little debt and not much liquid cash? Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So for me, I noticed that my strategy is different from most people, right? Listening to even the prior panels, one thing that I learned, I I don't knock anybody for anything as long as it's legal, right? But I walk a path of being debt-free as much as possible. Something the gentleman said earlier, he said, you can't save to wealth, right? You have to borrow to wealth. Well, it's a third. You can invest to wealth, right? And I've been blessed that, like a lot of us, we've been through the downfalls. At one point in time, when I first got into real estate, not the help of this guy over here, you know, I started my path with debt. At one point in my time, I was above my eyebrows in debt with real estate, and I lost everything. With the crash, like a lot of us, right? With the 2008 crash, I lost it all. And for me, I just decided to do it a little more organically. I wanted to be in a situation that I wanted to build up the cash. I wanted to live within my means, whatever that meant. If I wasn't able to live within my means, I needed to go out and get more means, or I needed to reduce my debt to stay within my means at all times. I wanted to try it a different way because I didn't like that feeling of losing literally everything almost overnight. Interest rates went up. Nobody taught me the difference between fixed and adjustable rates at that time. It was just sign this paperwork, you got A1 credit, keep accumulating this debt. And I ended up losing it all with a lot of other people. And I still know people that's mentally crippled behind that. Multi-millionaires that was in the city that had 50 and 60 properties driving, you know, the Benzes and Corvettes and everything, and they lost everything and they can't seem to get back on that horse. They can't figure it out because of all the debt that they had. So for me, I would say this. Look, we're in a very unique city. Unique in terms of you can buy real estate cheap. I guarantee, if I don't know anything else, I guarantee you've had bags probably 10 times over, even if it was 10 grand. There's $10,000 properties in the city. I just went to, they have an auction twice a year in the city of Cleveland. The prices started at $500. They started $500. It's no excuse. If you were in DC on the West Coast, New York, Seattle, I get it. You got a reason, but in the city of Cleveland, it's no excuse for everybody in this room not to own real estate. And listen, and I'm not saying just go out and buy real estate, because I know people that own vacant lots, 50 vacant lots. It just don't make sense. I know people that own properties. It just don't make sense. You have to have a strategy to go along with it. But what I'm saying is, you gotta hustle, you have a business, you can make 10 grand, you can make 15 grand, you can make 20 grand. And I'm not saying as soon as you get it, go out and buy it. Well, people approach me all the time and say, well, I got 15 grand, how do I partner with somebody? Your first property, partner with someone that has experience, where they have money too, and you learn together. Because it's not hard, it's not rocket science. I guarantee you that. Yes, it takes information, it takes knowledge, but the best way to do is piggyback. Like another gentleman said earlier, you don't need money. You don't need money. You really don't. For me, to be quite honest, I get so many people, so many DMs and texts and requests for people to give me money to invest in what I do. I don't need your money. I need your work. I need your commitment. I need boots on the ground. I know how to get money. That's the easy part. Somebody that's really willing to put in the work, that's the hard part. So I guarantee you, when you get up to your next 15 grand, you can find somebody else with 15, y'all going on the property, or you can find somebody that got 50 and say, I want to contribute my time, my effort, boots on the ground, plus my 15 grand, and get in on the deal. A matter of fact, I just talked to the gentleman right here in the first row. He just told me he partnered on his first deal in Pittsburgh with a gentleman, with his money, with somebody that had experience. That's the best thing that you can do. College is okay, but instead of going to school, go to work for somebody that's actually doing it. Guaranteed.
Sure. That's right.
Piggyback on that, personal experience. I am a big firm believer in you have that in your mindset or your goals for rental property will always be here. You can always get a property. Just up until maybe 30 days ago, I have 16 doors. But again, my money started flattening, meaning I didn't have a lot of liquid. And right now, you should be liquid. You know, the deals that are coming, the way the prices are. And I said, you know what? It's time for me to start running the bag up. You know, I don't have to have all those doors to allow me to create more wealth. So I think, you know, as far as getting the money, run the bag up, use other people's money in the banks or, you know, invest with partners. And that was your, your door to get into it.
Thank you all so much.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adriana Jackson. I just wanted someone to speak to the mindset shift because I've always wanted to be in real estate and learn more about investment, but I think I got in my own way. And can anybody speak to how your mindset has to change and even the people that you're around? And sometimes, and I think like Akeem said, he quietly, prepared this plan for Black Eye. Can anybody speak to the mindset?
So I think this is a good one for me because I had to definitely shift my mindset when I started investing in real estate. And I think it was a risk, right? I think sometimes you're scared. And it's, do I want to put my money there? And as my money was sitting in savings accounts, and it really wasn't getting me anywhere, right? I'm getting some interest rate on it. I wasn't really hitting my goals. The other thing was I was watching my clients who are investors over 4 or 5 years. I am putting deals together, helping them make a lot of money while my money was sitting in the bank. So it was just jumping out there. And so you talk about kind of a mindset shift. I think that you kind of have to do. You have to take the risk and you have to do before you actually probably get that shift, right? I don't think that the shift comes and then you do. You kind of got to push yourself to do it. And then doing events like this and being around people who are doing it and getting the knowledge, not just saying, well, I know I can make money. They were kind of watching how they're doing it, understanding it, and then understand that there's a risk component to it. And you are going to have to be willing to take that risk, but you're taking a risk on you.
I want to add to that because that's really the most important thing that everybody in this room can learn today. We can learn about money, we can learn about real estate, we can learn about the beauty industry, we can learn about finance and finding the money. But it starts with the mind. It's a fact. What you consume through eating, through reading, through education, through entertainment, you are in some type of way becoming that. I'm telling you, that's a fact. Whatever it is, if you're on social media all day, looking at what I used to call BoobTube, now it's on your phone. In prison, where I spent a lot of time at, unfortunately in my younger days, we called it BoobTube. Oh, they're in there watching BoobTube. Now it's on your phone. It's easily accessible now, which is unfortunate, but it's positives with social media too. If that's all you're consuming all day, I promise you, that's who you will become. She said something else that was very key. Your network, who you're around every day. Who do you decide to spend your time with? Is so important. I'm blessed that I have a great personal network and business network. You have to be intentional on who you're giving your time to. You have to be intentional on who you're having conversations with, who you are allowing into your mindset, into your personal space, because it all starts with that mindset. The educational system, and I actually know her personally. I know she's well educated, right? But educated from where and who? From school. They teach you at school to be consumers, to work in somebody else's system, the system they created. For those that's a little more knowledgeable, The educational system in this country was literally created by the richest family in this country. They created it for workers and employees and people to help build their system and keep their system running. I'm not knocking anybody, but no disrespect to any teachers in there. But those that can do, do. And those that can't do, they teach. Most of the time. Most of the time. Because obviously some people are giving back because they're actually doing and they're blessed and they want to reach back. But you're going to business school, for most people, it never had a business. Or had a failed business. So now they're going to teach and get a guaranteed paycheck instead of going out there and getting it in for real. You have to be very mindful of that, where you're getting your information from. Those are your tools. Those are your tools. And I work with my hands. I'm a contractor. The right tools get the right job done. Without the right tools, you can't. Think about that.
Don't be afraid to think. You're going to learn something in the process. I always tell myself, something I say in my prayers is, I don't lose. I learn. I haven't made money off of every deal, but I promise you, I took away something, some type of knowledge or a relationship.
Excuse me, I would just like to piggyback just a little bit and say, sometimes you have to look at your circle. And sometimes you have to think about your self-worth as well. And knowing that, I would say that the most important thing is to try not to have fear. Just continue to educate yourself. And some people call it risk, but you know what you do. You just surround yourself around great people and you'll be successful.
I was looking for my young guys, two of my youth that were in the room. I think they stepped out. But one, I wanted to thank you, Mr. Africa, for just believing in other people and being intentional with bringing other people up with you and believing in their vision. So thank you for that. I grew up, born and raised in this neighborhood. You gave a lot of my friends, my day ones, some that are no longer here with us, the opportunity to buy into this. So I thank you for that. And your journey, your journey and being resilient through all of that, and getting to the point to where this legacy is like so large that our tiny minds cannot even comprehend what we're going to leave here when we take our last breath. So I really just want to tap in on that. Because as humans, like, we have very limited vision. We have very limited vision. And we have no idea what the Creator is doing in the forefront of that. So if you can just expound on, when you take your last breath, the legacy, the plan, what do you envision being here? And Bug Eyes in particular.
So for me, I was looking at the poster behind us, and one of the subjects is learning how to win, right? We're teaching people how to win. And I was thinking how strong that is, but even stronger is teaching people how to lose. Like you said, you learn from your mistakes. I've took a lot of losses in my life. A lot. What people would perceive as losses. But it took one thought. The thought that changed my mindset was to appreciate those losses, right? Started looking at the glass half full instead of half empty. I didn't understand that. I heard that term before. Like, we grow up listening and hearing a lot of terms, but we really don't understand those terms, right? A penny saved is a penny earned. That's like one of my favorites. But because half of my life I didn't understand it. It was just something that our parents and grandparents said, and it got to the point because they never explained it, right? But when the light bulb finally went off and I understood it, it was life-changing. It was literally life-changing when I really understood that. When I really understood that my failures in life wasn't truly failures. They were learning experiences. So for me, that was very important, and I wanted to show people I just was having a conversation yesterday with a gentleman. I did almost 14 and a half years in prison, 3 different numbers. I finally changed my life and got my mind together when I was 28 years old. I remember the year, I remember the time, I remember where I was at when I decided to make that change, do a complete 180. And the blessing for me was, it wasn't about money that made me make the change. That was a byproduct of the change, right? It was about changing myself for a human being. A lot of people change because of money, because of their financial circumstances. For me, that wasn't the case. I'm not knocking anybody for it, but I wanted to change myself, my mindset, my experiences, my knowledge of who I was to be a better son for my mother, a better brother, a better friend, a better father. And I started on that mission. And just so happened, I started making some money, right? Walking that path. And that was a byproduct, and it started feeling good. And I want to just share that. So for me, and make sure other people learn that part of the mindset. It's not all about the money, but like the young lady said earlier, money can put you in a situation where you can find happiness. I think that's what people don't understand about money don't make you happy. Well, it can help you be in a situation where you can find what your happiness is. That's what money can do for you. So that's it. I think about, why are we here as human beings? I mean, that's common sense. You gotta be crazy to think that the Creator put us on this earth to make money and buy cars and buy things, right? But some people don't think that far ahead. I'm blessed, I do. I think about that. And the reality of it is what are we gonna leave behind? How are we gonna affect the people that's gonna be here once we're gone? So that's what Buckeye was about for me. That's what my intention is in life daily, right? How am I affecting other people? Because I embrace the afterlife. I embrace death. It's guaranteed. I'm not running from it. When it happens, I feel good that because of my attorneys, my trust is good, my business is good, my family will be good, so my work won't be in vain. Unfortunately, I'm in a business that I see that every day. I see people that look like us that wasn't prepared. I buy these properties at the tax auction and I'm throwing away, 30 years of memories because they wasn't prepared. They wasn't ready. Get it together. Be ready. Be ready. What are you going to leave behind for your kids, for your grandkids? That's how it works. I learned something from a good Jewish friend that I have. He said one of the keys in their faith or their culture is they don't think about what they're leaving for their kids. They think about what they're leaving for their grandkids. Think about that. They're not thinking about one step, they're thinking about the next 3 steps. So if every generation think about the 3rd generation, they already ahead of the game. And we thinking about ourselves. Right? So I hope I answered your question.
Hi, everybody. Thank you guys for coming out and sharing. I appreciate all of y'all. I love all of y'all. I see what y'all doing. So I'm Soraya. So I work for, I'm only getting up here because of what you said. I worked for companies for years because I was scared to go out on my own because I felt security. We're working for Loan Depot, Quicken Loans, Bank of America. So what I'm doing now is I'm trying to come out and I'm trying to open up school where I can teach credit, income, and mortgage. So what would your advice be for me, leaving the corporate world for over 25 years, wanting to teach my people? Because I was doing that work there, but I'm really passionate and I want to do it. So I need y'all advice. Where to begin?
I would just start out with just saying, just remove the fear, and I know everyone in here knows a whole lot about having faith, but you really and truly have to walk yourself into that and believe that you have that faith because you know you can do it, because you've done it for someone else. So you can definitely do it for yourself.
definitely capture the right out of high school children and teenagers.
Okay.
Especially the ones that we're at an age now where we have more, of our youth starting businesses, starting off as entrepreneurs at a very young age. You know, when I was growing up, it was, I'm into fashion, fashion design. That was not a career. That was kind of, you know, do that. The only person that was a fashion designer was June Ambrose at the time. Now, that's a whole billion-dollar career. So I would say capture the youth. I was a child care center. I opened it 15 years ago, and I have been in my center, I'm gonna say about 10 years. So, an incident happened in September, so I've been here since like 5 in the morning to 6. I have a daycare kid with me now.
I know, I've been watching her for you.
Okay, thank you. She's living in a shelter, a mom of 8, a family of 8. And just talking to that family and helping them, these kids are clueless as to anything with finance. So I would say capture, if you can, capture teenagers right out of high school. Yeah, earlier, yes, absolutely, absolutely. So I took her out shopping this morning, to clothes, hygiene, those things. And I was gonna drop her off and I thought about it. I said, why wouldn't I bring her to this? So I thought that mattered, and I'm gonna have a whole conversation with her after.
Thinking about youth, every school has contracts with supplemental funds for contractors like you, right? And so they do programs, and you can contract with individual districts in terms of partnerships. That's where you want to start in doing those partnerships. Same things with, secondary programs, banks, they all have funds for this, and most of those companies that you work for have like a social equity piece where they set aside money, where they have to give money to people like you, right? So you want to partner with those types of entities so that you can then deliver those services. And, you know, we got time to-
Hi, my name is Winston Withrow. I'm a certified mobile contractor. So with that, I was able to have access to real estate agents. So I was able to get a house at like $5,000. I'm like 70% done. But I'm at a standstill because my money is slowed up right now. So would you recommend that I seek funding or continue to go on the path of using my own money?
I would say, you know, just take time out and find someone that, have some of the same experience that you have, or, you know, talk to someone that can, like you're now just giving you the whole insight. But most importantly is, you know, just stick with what you know. Go ahead on and, you know, get some funding or whatever it takes, but just don't give up. Just continue to do what you're doing and be in the room like you're in now, and you get all the answers that you need.
Thank you.
Also, numbers. So something that, I'm learning, as, you know, I'm learning, as entrepreneur in real estate, is doing your numbers. So just say, I'm a person that likes to hold inventory. Holding inventory sometimes costs you. So if you're looking at your numbers as to what it costs you for insurance, I don't know if it's an entertaining home, do you have it secured? You know, for instance, someone breaking in it, you know, will set you back. You know, furnaces, hot water tanks are not, cheap. So I would say do your numbers and ask, per day, I look at my numbers, ask what this house cost me, the taxes, the insurance, you know, the upkeep, the electricity, the gas. Those, I mean, you gotta pay for the internet, or the Wi-Fi, or the security system. So I would say do your numbers, and if you have to see funding, go ahead and do it.
So to even take it a step further, reach out to me or I'll give you our information. So just because we're in the room, we have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individual, maybe 6 in the room. Maybe a year and a half ago, we started our own community bank. It's called Ujama Collective. It was an ideal, another vision that I had for years. Again, I get so many people asking me to invest, so many people trying to put money in, and I'm one of those people, I don't like to be responsible for other people's livelihood, right? You know, I'm a risk taker by nature, and most people wouldn't take a risk like I would, and I understand that. It took me years to get Jasmine out of her shell to take a risk and invest. It made me sick every time she told me that she was getting 6% annual returns on her money.
I have 26 doors now, y'all.
So, you know, that made me sick to my stomach. And I have so many family members, they're happy they're getting 6.5% returns on their money. And they're at the bank and the 401ks. And I try to remind them, what do you think the people are doing with your money? You know what I mean? They making 12%, 13%. So I had this idea. I reached out to 20 of my friends and said, hey, I'm thinking about putting together a community bank. If everybody put in 10 grand, we raise the money and then we loan it out to people within our group or to other real estate investors that's, you know, trying to do the right thing. We make it easily accessible money. It's based on collateral, so we did. Ujama Collective. I had the name and everything. Within 24 hours, we raised $150,000. Literally. We had to shut the door. It got too overwhelming. People was mad at me that they couldn't put their money in. So we did that. So we started that. It's directed towards investors, real estate investors specifically. It's really only designed for people that's buying and selling. So I don't know if you're interested in selling the property when you're done. Well, that's for us. I don't even know if we have money in the coffers left right now because we've just been working with the 150. I've been a little hesitant to open the doors back up to raise more right now. We've all been so busy, we haven't really got back to the table. But as soon as the money coming in, it's going right back out, right? It's flexible income. It's something very distinctive that we actually do, which is different. We don't check personal credit or any of that. It's all based on the asset, right? But the most distinctive part of what we do, we charge monthly interest every month. So it's a percentage. So if you only need the money for 1 month, you only pay for 1 month. Nobody does that. No early payment penalties or anything. So it's a great thing, and the people that's been a part of it, they keep coming back. So it's very rare that we can get somebody in, but we can have a conversation. But the point is, look in your network. Start with your family, go to your friends, and then your community. What we did is not rocket science. It's not. We just put some people at the table and said, let's put this deal together. Obviously, we were blessed. We had an attorney that was a part of it. Actually, we have 2 attorneys or 3 attorneys that's a part of it. Yeah, 3 or 4 attorneys. 2. Oh, your girl too? I thought she was out. Okay. All right. But yeah, we have 2 attorneys that's a part of it, so we got the paperwork done. And we said that all the templates and the documents that we created, we're going to give them away for other people where they can start that within their own networks, right? And it doesn't have to be 10,000. Everybody, you got 15 friends, everybody put in 1,000. You know, you got 20 friends, everybody put in 500. You said you're 70% down with the property. You know, there's a gentleman that does landscaping. He might got 8,000 for you, or 6,000. Here's another gentleman, just fresh from Cleveland. I know for a fact that he invests in real estate. He might be your partner to finish that property. You know, so you looking for, you know, a new network. You looking for partners. Open your eyes. If you're in the right rooms, just open your eyes and reach out.
The one thing I felt that's interesting about what we did with John Collective was something that we have been doing for years, right? It was these one-off kind of fix and flip, creative loans, like I got this idea, and how can I do it, and how can I be protected, right? And so we created it. So, you know, while we created John Collective, this is something you can do individually with each other, right? There's nothing really special about it. We created not that we're going to do it as a collective, but we have been doing it just as ones. So, I mean, kind of think about it that way as well.
Unfortunately, our last question here, and then we're going to get ready to wrap this thing up. I appreciate you for standing in the extended overtime. But I believe it's been worth it. Some of you all, because it was a little bit later in the day, so we pushed the day back, but I think it's all been well worth it.
He pretty much like asked my question, but she made me still ask mine. So basically, bought a property at 19, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I ended up like selling the property. I didn't even buy a property, I bought land, and actually looking back, I wish I would have kept the land. And I always get like paperwork saying like that I still own it, but I'm like, how if I can see it like the system or whatever. So like my question I guess would be like, what would be like the steps to take, like when you're trying to like, I know like everybody probably feel like this question they ask out all the time, but like individually like looking back from what y'all did, what would you say like the first step would be to someone that wanted to become like, you know, like a real estate investor and like build their property? Cause like I'm looking to do it like very, very soon. So I always be like looking every day, like I don't think I'm doing enough. Like I'm like every day I'm checking my emails, like looking at the houses. So okay, that was cute. I like that one. That one prices like what I'm, you know, looking for. But it's like I still don't know what else I need to do to get like these properties. Like I'm always like, so what else I need to do? Like, should I get it? Like, you know, who do I reach out to?
So the first thing is congratulations. At 19, no, seriously, I know people that's 50 and still scared to buy their own property. So I bought my first when I was 19, so I can relate. So that's kudos for that. Again, hold your money. Don't run out to invest it. I'm not saying save it. I'm saying hold it until you have the right information and the knowledge. That's way more important than the money, right? You already, you tested that you can get over the hump. When you get the money, you're not scared to invest it. That's a big hump for most people. The information and knowledge and the game plan is way more important. Whether you get it on your own or partnering with someone else with experience and knowledge, you have to get that first because it can be very detrimental on how you, because some people just got guts. They got too much. They you know, their testicles are too big. So they'll go out and just buy, but don't have the right information and knowledge, right? I know so many people that own real estate and it's not beneficial. They're not making money. They're actually losing money and they don't even know because you have to pay your property taxes. You got to do upkeep. You need to have insurance, even if it's vacant lots. People don't know that. You know, that's more important than anything. So go out and get the knowledge, get the information. The great thing in the day that we live in now, 2023, YouTube, everything. Now the hardest part is deciphering the legitimate, the right information versus the wrong information, because there's a lot of people that really don't know, haven't did it, and they're on there teaching, right? So that's the hardest part, deciphering which, you know, the right information from the wrong information. Get a mentor that's actually doing it. I know a couple in this room that you can probably connect with to do mentoring. Guaranteed. You know, all you got to do is ask. So that's more important than just the money, for sure.
I just want to kind of piggyback just a little bit and say that, you know, just by you stepping up right now, I see that you have room that's here, that you may have here. And you are in the right room, you're around all the people that can help you and assist you if you just move that here. And that's what you have done. So I want to continue to say that you are blessed because you started out at a young age. And we all have made mistakes. And we will continue to make them. However, that's not the goal, but we learn from those mistakes. And that's the most important thing, that you can learn from those mistakes. But you're in a room that you can get all the education right here with us.
Okay. Hey, did y'all have a good day today? I appreciate each of you and thank you all for coming up on our panel and reversing it. You know, I felt it was two things important that you heard: vision from people that were doing it at a whole nother level, and then at the same time, the questions that you had populated questions in their mind that people that they may walk past every day, and now they can say, you know what, that person may have that question or a product, or they may be even more encouraged, even more boisterous about the special. Most of the time, people that are doing it at that next level, they're a little quiet. A lot of times they're a little introverted, you know, and they're not as quick to get out front And then some of those that's out there just trying to constantly be all up and down on the internet and all that, don't know a thing, right? And it's a lot of that going on. So I think our job as an organization is to facilitate, to bring that information out in a safe environment where you can get connected to it and you can then take advantage of it in whichever way that you go about doing that. In our closing, I just want to share that in all things, be inside of a network, be it our network or someone else's. The formula to the 2Excel, our e-network, which is an Empower network, that also embodies the Greater Cleveland Real Estate Investors Association, is member-based. As I stated earlier, it's $2.99 to be a member for the entire year. Some of y'all got that in your pocket. I know you got all that long stuff you talking about. You might as well just cut everybody in right now. Everybody want the lawn man to get their membership today? By show of hands, let's give up a sponsor to see membership. This is a lawn man. Oh man, that is something, right? Entrepreneur, there you go. I done messed with that lawnmower, man. Hold on, let me go back. Remember when Akeem was talking about if you're on social media, YouTube, and what you watch and what you eat and all that, you are becoming? Guess what I was becoming? A Netflix burger. I'm like, so you mean I'm about to be a Netflix burger? If I just keep on watching? You help me, man. I appreciate that. I'm not watching no more Netflix, no more burger. For me, I'm about to become just a wellpreneur right here. I knew something was wrong. But when he said that, everybody takes something different away from the whole thing, right? My takeaway was I've been watching Netflix and I've been eating these burgers and he told me I'm becoming one. So I'm changed. I like to say, let's give it up. He saved my life. So I got to do something extra, I'm sorry. But back to my hard closing I was doing a minute ago about this money. No, but seriously, I'm interested in you all being a part of our network. When we leave out, those of you that have not toured can tour our building. It will be our building. When you're a member, it's like a credit union. It's our building. When you're a member, you can just come through and get the information, get the access that you need. My job is going to be continue to influence, connect, and convene people to come and give you information that you otherwise would spend your life savings trying to get one piece of. Real life people with real evidence and real activity in your community that you can reach out to. He didn't say, catch me online or follow me on Facebook. He told that gentleman, you can get with me now or get with our organization and start moving your path. And that's what we like to produce. We like to produce that, we like to produce that, we like to produce that. Membership is $2.99 for the year, it's $99 a month thereafter for you to support our organization. If you decide today, because you spent so much time with us, that you want to be a member if you're not a member, it's $99 for the year. And then 30 days later, you can start your $99 if you think that it's a good fit for you. If you don't, there's no contract. Just find a different network. But your network is what's going to increase your net worth. That's my number one thing. Being in a group, in a community of like-minded people, be it us or anywhere else. If you Google real estate investor community, you'll find other communities. Some of them are even free. So I'm not saying you got to buy into one. But sometimes if you sow something, you do what? Reap it. Right? So I'm an encouragement to say invest in your success. So if you could just say, I'm going to put this little seed in and this now it's intentional, because you call and saying, well, where's my benefit? Right? At least we got a relationship where you're saying, I'm looking for something now. If you didn't put nothing in it, then most of the time you're going to look for nothing. Right? People are aiming nothing, end up hitting nothing down the what? Head. Right? So you have to become that. So if you decide you want to be a part of us, then that's what you can do. It's a ton of benefits. I won't go into all of that, but one of them is our new business center over here called the B Suites, where you can be you. You come in there, you move around. We got a brand new copier dropped off. All your business cards, flyers, all that stuff will shine like the money. And I'm not going to show you which building, but we're getting ready to create a whole keynote situation over here out of Salt Lake. So y'all going to say all that money I ain't spending with them, and FedEx and all that. And you'll be eventually able to ship right from this block anywhere. But anyway, all your production, all your savings, all your website, all your brand, everything you need to grow your business is in the network. That's what I can tell you. and you'll save by being a member. It works because each of you are all inside the membership. It keeps people having to run around and try to be like, well, you $1,000 coaching client, and if all of y'all have collectively come together in membership, then it takes the hanks off of our business. We can keep giving. Oh, do you at the church? Amen, right? Right? It's just the same way. I just got a fixed number. Amen, Pastor. All right, so look, so this is all I'm saying. Get with any one of our team members if you want to be a member. Your membership supports us, allows us to have events like this. Sponsorship supports us, allows us to have events like this. If you do your job, we don't ever have to make a door fee. Because I promise you, I've had more enjoyment here than Houston, Detroit, and all the way back to Cleveland, where we was charging $149 a ticket, $2,500 for each of our speakers in Houston. And I have more fulfillment out of this community revitalization event than I've had in a whole year of doing events all across the country. Got it? So give yourselves a round of applause. And thank you for being a part, for being a fair part of the Revitalization to Excel. And thank you all for being a part. And it's to see you here, to see you other people. And yeah, y'all, we're going to network our way on out this door because I think our time is up. But stop by, make sure you stop by the vendor, get his information. And, oh, shit.